Some people, we say, have soul. They have loved, they have suffered, they have a deep sense of life's meaning. Perhaps most important, they know who they are. Carol Pearson. Real-life heroes walk this earth. There's a hero in all of us. These are two stories that I'm about to show you of the journey of two men. Watch and admire and enjoy. This first story is of a young man named Jeremy. Jeremy had his vision suddenly taken away in the middle of the night. 3 years later, determined that he could do everything a sighted person could, he decided to relearn how to drive in his new dark world. As you watch his story, see this warrior in every sense of the word, creating new identity and transform himself like a magician back into a world with no limits.
I woke up one morning and basically I couldn't read my alarm clock, so everything was extremely blurry. My vision is comparable to a sighted person looking through several sheets of wax paper. The world is a gigantic blur at best to me. I've said before, I went from rappelling out of helicopters with the Sheriff's Department and a search and rescue team pulling lost climbers and hikers off of mountains and saving lives, to working at a school for blind children and changing, maybe even saving their lives in a different way. So this is way more than a car. This is more than my dream coming true. This is the future of all the children that we serve. This is the future of the blind and visually impaired community throughout the world. It symbolizes stereotypes being broken and the world opening its mind. With blindness and it being one's diagnosis and not their disability, your mindset's what makes you disabled. If you tell yourself you can do it, and it may sound cliche, but it is true, if you tell yourself you can do it, generally you can do it.
A test that would defeat most, Jeremy would not let this trial destroy him, and he metamorphed into a limitless creature, a destroyer who feels no pain or injustice. Some may say his desire to drive again was irrational and meaningless, but to Jeremy it symbolized becoming the ruler of his own kingdom and destiny.
At 12 years old, I remember asking my mom, "Can I have 25 cents? I wanted to go to Circle K. It was a little convenience store 2 streets down. And I said, "Mom, I want to get some," I think it was bubble gum or some sunflower seeds at the time. And she looked me in the eye and said, "Son, we don't have that." Remember that like it was yesterday. And I remember thinking, why don't we have that? Why don't we have 25 cents? So at 13 years old, I went and got a job. And I went to work for a company, and that company paid me $1 per hour. And I was working in an upholstery shop. And I was seeking my goal. I didn't know that then. I thought it was important at that time. I thought it was important to me. And every day after school, I'd ride my bicycle to this little shop, and I'd work for 3 or 4 hours, and I'd make my $3 or $4. And on Friday afternoon, I would get paid.
This story was of a young, innocent boy forced into the harsh reality of the real world at a young age. This young man began his journey at the age of 13 as a seeker of a better life. His call to adventure was loud and clear. When you listen to these stories, think, when did you cross the threshold and begin your journey?